Testing 1, 2, testing 1, 2. Yeah, I heard it. All right. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Rakatah to the brothers. Shalom. Yahweh Shemor Atham Bashim to the sisters. I'm priest and officer Paratazar, holding the class down. You know what I'm saying? For priest and officer of 1,000 Shah, the water for letting me hold down the Lord's class. This is the ISUPK, the Israelite School Unit School Practical Knowledge. Start off with 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Gene Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called blacks, the so-called Hispanics, so-called Native American Indians. They are God's chosen people. They are God's people of the Holy Bible. You know what I'm saying? Let's clap it up for the Most High, our power. And once again, you know what I'm saying? Also clap it up for, you know what I'm saying, for Yahweh Shah, ignorant called Jesus Christ, our King, to be an example to his people, the Israelites. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Baba Gashar, read the title of the class.
Israelites obey God's laws and become powerful.
Israelites obey God's laws and become powerful. And become powerful. Listen to that title. Because who said that we cannot obey God's laws? If we do obey God's laws, it's not powerful. Right? That's what the Christian church pushes. God's done away with the laws. They couldn't do all the laws. It's 613 laws. This is that propaganda. You know what I'm saying? Have been taught into, you know what I'm saying? Have been taught into white Jesus slaves. This is what, you know what I'm saying, our oppressor had taught us, that we cannot do God's law. We cannot do God's law. So if we cannot do God's law and we get punished, hey, we can't do it anyway. That is confusion right there. For the Most High God, our power, have punished what? The Israelites. Because they did not follow what? God's laws. They did not obey God's laws. And today in 2026, we got another nation of people is teaching us about God's laws. And this other nation of people telling us God's laws is done away with. Who taught us that statement? Who taught us, you know what I'm saying, how you pick up the Bible and, you know what I'm saying, without even being indoctrinated? You would never come up with the concept that God do away with the laws. Somebody had to kick you in your face first, then teach you that. Another nation of people picked up the Israelites' constitution, the Israelites' history book, and put themselves in it. You know what I'm saying? If the Romans picked up the Israelites' books, guess what's going to happen? Roman philosophy going to come into the Bible. That's the reason why they said Jesus Christ is half God and half man. He's a demigod, priest. Right? That's what the Roman Greeks thought about what it was like Apollo and Hercules. That these gods came down to earth and had sexual relations with human beings. Their philosophy always come out. How they think come out. That's why it's confusing, because another nation picked up our Constitution and put their philosophy on our Constitution. That's what happened. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Yeah, look, Italy, right? Italy is wrong, right? The Pope picked up our Constitution, and guess now, Jesus is 3 gods now. They made the Father God, the Holy Spirit God, and Jesus God. Right? That's right. That sounds like Greek and Roman what? Religion. That sounds like Greek and Roman what? History. Now they put that history into our Bible. That's what happened. Read the title of the class again.
Oh, God. Israelites obey God's laws and become powerful.
Israelites obey God's law and become powerful. When the last time that our oppressors said something like that? When the last time did you hear a Christian church say that? A Catholic church, a Muslim mosque say that? But guess what? If you ask them, is this statement is true, what you think they're going to say? Darren, what you think they're going to say? If you ask the title of the class, you know what I'm saying? Read the title of the class again.
Obey God's law and become powerful.
So if you said to a Christian, you know what I'm saying? If someone obey God's law, do they become powerful?
If we obey.
No. If you pose that as a question to a Christian, So then you come back and say, so you telling me God's laws do not make you powerful? You see what I'm getting at? Because they don't believe in God's laws. They believe in Zeus laws. They believe in white Jesus laws. Think about it. You have to be the totally opposite of God's laws. The God that they believe in. The God the Father laws. This is where you see how I have to say God the Father because this is how they talk. Because it's different between God the Father and God Jesus. You hear, you know what I'm saying? They are schizophrenic. They are functional schizophrenics. Go ahead, please.
Like if I'm here, what you bringing out so heavy? Yeah, they're gonna say, "Oh, we can't follow Lord's God. We can't follow God's laws. Christ done away with the Lord." But they also weak. You understand? And they also gonna hit you off with nobody's perfect. You understand? And then that's when you could go, "Oh, nobody's perfect. Was Christ perfect?" Christ told us, and this is a commandment from Christ. He said, "Be ye therefore perfect, and be ye therefore perfect."
Mm-hmm.
You understand? And they all, and these Christians, you know, they get on my nerves. They say that, "Oh, we can't be perfect," and Christ done away with the law, also that they can be continuous sinners.
Continuous, and because white Jesus doctrine, and remember, it's a well organized lie. Remember, the lie became the lie became status quo. Since 1969, ISUPK have been beating down that organized lie status quo. How long you think it's going to take for people to, you know what I'm saying? Right now, they're just talking. Right now, in the air is nobody how people looking at Jesus Christ as not God. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's not about his color. We have to bring up the color to destroy the organized lie. White Jesus doctrine said Jesus is white. That's what the whole world thinks. Jesus is white. Period. How long that propaganda went on? Centuries. With the sword. With the goddamn sword. How long, you know what I'm saying? How long, you know what I'm saying? How long did Pope say the laws is done away with? How long did the Catholic Church say the laws are done away with? How long did your local Black Baptist church say that the laws are done away with? After church, we're going to eat pork, swine. Never knew that, you know what I'm saying? I never knew that, I thought not eating pig came from Muslims. That's what I thought all my life. I thought the Muslims was the one who came up with the concept not to eat pork. I specifically learned it from the 5%ers. back in the 80s when I was a 5%er, and I told my mom I don't eat pork chops no more. You never heard that from the Christian church, your local Christian church. You just outside on the picnics, you know what I'm saying, eating pork chops and hog maws with some pinto beans, black eyed peas. Tell me if I'm lying, priest.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? At the picnic dinner, or you know what I'm saying, they're going on these little road trips. It was all about the pork. This is what they used to do, especially, you know what I mean? And I'm talking about pork from the South right there. They used to have the big hog. It used to be like a church gathering. Even though, you know what I'm saying, even though my family never went to church, it's like a community church, you know what I mean? Community church or whatever. And it's like a gathering, and they throw, like, you know what I'm saying, a big picnic, a big barbecue in the park. And everybody went there. So they had like 3 big, I'm talking about pigs. I'm talking about the entire pig. With the pink, you know what I mean? Oh. Slow cooking the goddamn thing. Rotisserie, yeah. In the park back in the days. Nobody even considered that was bad. Then they gave a little preach. Because they had the tent. So people, you know what I'm saying? People was beating the goddamn tambourine, singing. Then they, you know what I'm saying? Then they say, food is finished. Then everybody go get a plate. And the pork cracklings. Oh, that pork cracklings. Oh, you know, that's the skin of the, you know what I mean? They shave off the skin of the pork and put it on the whistle and let it crackle. Oh, yeah. Chicharron, see. Yeah, man, that pork cracklings. That came out of the Christian church. Because you know why? Because white Jesus picked up another nation, picked up the Israelites, pick up, you know what I'm saying? Pick up a Puerto Rican's book, picked up a Mexican's book, pick up, you know what I'm saying, a Dominican's constitution. And it gets no more pork eaters than the Caucasian man. They the cream of the cream pork eaters. They the one posed pork on people. They did. You know what I'm saying? That slave food. You know what I'm saying? We had to make a delicacy out of pigs' intestines, swine. This is what our slave master fed us. And they was Christians at the same time. So what law are they following? Because if we follow, you know what I'm saying, if we follow the Most High God's laws, we become powerful. No, you know what I'm saying? No more Bloods and Crips. No more threesomes.
Right. No
more running trains. You don't follow. We don't follow white Jesus doctrine. We don't follow American doctrine. We don't follow that. We're not perverts like America's system. Like America, you know what I'm saying? America, like, you know what I'm saying? People, you know what I'm saying, that's part of the LGBTQ community, walk around naked and not one cop arrested somebody. You can walk around children naked. This system got our daughters, our sons, our nieces and nephews. It's okay for our daughters to walk around with these short shorts showing the imprint of their vagina. Showing the imprint of their vagina lips to their father. They okay, no shame, priests.
Right.
They don't obey God. They're not powerful. They're powerful what? In white Jesus doctrine. They're powerful. Papa Gashar, pull that first scripture. Romans chapter 15, verse 4.
God.
So Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, we have to understand this. We have to, you know what I'm saying? The priest and the prophet of ISUPK is coming on the scene to teach our people, to train our people, Because we need some training. You know that, priest?
Right.
And people think, you know what I'm saying? Our people think training is wrong. How training is wrong? You train, you know what I'm saying? You train to defend yourself. Is that bad? You train, you know what I'm saying? You training to become a carpenter. Well, once our people say, yo, you gotta get trained to be righteous, ain't no man can train me. Well, why Jesus train you? Because you just finished running train with your homeboy on this, you know what I'm saying, on this chick. So that make you, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You part of the LGBT community because you love looking at your homeboy's penis. And he like looking at yours. Why, you know what I'm saying? Why y'all looking at this one woman? Disgusting. We became perverted, disgusting. That's America's system right there. That's how America, you know what I'm saying, have parades of these pride parades and let people walk around butt naked. And guess what they was doing at, you know what I'm saying? That is the origins of Easter. Look up the origins of Easter. They used to paint themselves in all different colors. Same thing like those Easter eggs. And go on a hunt. You know what I'm saying? Men, you know what I'm saying, violating women. Abu Shah, read that scripture.
But God, Romans chapter 15, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Oh man. So you know they say whatsoever things was written aforetime was written for our learning. What is aforetime? Darren, what was the aforetime? The past. And what is the thing? And when he said was written, what was written? The law, the Torah, right? The Torah and the Tanakh, right? This is what he's talking about. This is Romans, am I right? So what Romans is these about foretime? Is he talking about, you know what I'm saying? Is he talking about the foretime of Apollo and Greece and Zeus and Thor? That's what our brother Paul was talking about. An Israelite from the tribe of Benjamin. That's what he was talking about. For whatsoever things was written aforetime was written for our learning. He had to remind brothers of this, brothers and sisters about this, because our brothers and sisters is getting influenced in Rome. What foretime are you talking about, sir? Oh, let's read that foretime. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna read that foretime, priest. Go to Leviticus chapter 11. Yeah, let's go to Leviticus chapter 11 because we were just talking about Pope earlier. See here, Leviticus chapter 11. And let's read this. Just had
it. God, Leviticus chapter 11, verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Go, Salaki, let's start verse 1.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you started one, it's all good.
Leviticus chapter 11, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them.
Wait, in the what?
And the Lord spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying unto them.
No, the Lord spoken to the Pope. The Lord spoken to Donald Trump. The Lord spoken to George Washington. The Lord spoken to Cortez. The Lord spoken to, you know what I mean? Wait. But it said that the Lord spoken to these Israelites, specifically from the tribe of Levi. One lawyer. That's what it sounded like to me, priest.
Right.
Is this done away with, Christians? This is we reading about aforetime. Things that written aforetime was written for our learning. We gotta read the things that was written in the aforetime. What was the aforetimes at? What was Christ reading? Of course, he read this.
Right.
Read on.
Verse 2. Speak unto the children of Israel.
No, speak to the children of the Moabites.
Children of Israel.
No, speak to the children of the Egyptians.
Children of Israel.
No, speak to the children of Edom.
Children of Israel.
No, speak to the children, you know what I'm saying, of the Hamites.
Children of Israel.
No, speak to the children of the Japhites.
Children of Israel.
Children of Israel, Yasha Allah. Speak to, you know what I'm saying, speak to the Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Speak to the Dominicans. Speak to the Venezuelans. Speak to the Cubans. We need somebody to speak to the Cubans right now, but they're about to be invaded. And they ain't doing anything. They ain't doing anything to America. But remember I always bring up? I said, if you have land close to America, it's Americans. It's Donald Trump's land. Haiti is Donald Trump's land. You know that? Mexico is Donald Trump's land. What can Mexico do to stop America from invading them? What outside powers could invade Cuba right now? Can the Japanese invade Cuba? No. You know why? Because America look at Cuba as that's our territory. Right? They was doing heinous crime in Cuba. You know what I'm saying? Underneath the American flag about, you know what I'm saying, torture. What they call him? How you pronounce it? Matango Bay? Yeah, Matango Bay. No, but everybody forgot about those pictures. You know what I'm saying? With, you know what I mean? They was taking picture of naked men stacked on top of each other. This was America's soldiers with sexual violating the inmates, the containees. That's what they call it, containees. Nobody say anything about the sexual violation? They have pictures, and it was white men and white women doing it. This is in the psyche of the European. This is in the psyche of, you know what I'm saying, Edom. This is in their psyche. Remember, whatever they touch, their pervertedness going to come out. You know what I'm saying? That's how that's how the so-called the curly fries on the side. You know what I mean? These people, these Europeans who follow, you know what I'm saying, who follow the Torah and Tanakh. How you think they came up with the concept of putting their mouth on a 8-day-old baby boy to circumcise? How you think they came up with that concept? Because they was always getting down like that. That's why they all look effeminate, because they always had a perverted mind. They always had a perverted mind. You know what I'm saying? And then just remember, it was, you know what I'm saying, it was horrific what happened in Germany towards those people. Even though that was, you know what I'm saying, that was brother and brother crime. You know what I'm saying? They were the same people. You would not know which one is German and which one, you know what I'm saying, which one is which one who followed the Jewish religion. You would never know that. It wasn't just that. The Jewish people had an industry of porno industry. Yeah. They had a porno industry, and the people who was over it was Jewish people. And Germans didn't want that in their country. They didn't want no pervertedness in their country. Read on.
These are the beasts which ye shall eat among all the beasts that are on the earth.
So the Most High God had told, you know what I mean? I told Moses and Aaron, yo, teach your brothers and sisters this. We're going to have law class. You know what I mean? And these are the things that I'm going to tell you what's food and what's not food. And this is what we have to understand. This is how we got to talk. We got to talk practical. That's how we've been taught in the ISUPK. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Make things simple. Make it simple. Cat is not food. Dog is not food. Pig is not food. You see how easy that is? Lamb is food. So if we're saying that pork is not food, how will you consider pig as being food? The same way that everybody, you know what I'm saying, and people in America don't look at what name for dog as food. When the last time somebody looked at a dog and said, yo, that could be some good, delicious meat right there? Nobody do that. What about a house cat? When the last time somebody think about their house cat as food? Huh? Not even farmers do that. You know that, priest? Not even people who raise cattle think about, yo, you know what I'm saying? Lassie looking delicious today. Let's breed a bunch of lassies so we can eat lassie up. Huh? See how easy that is? So the Most High God is telling you what's food and what's not food. Read on.
Come on, God, verse 3. Whatsoever part of the hoof,
Go on.
and is cloven footed, and cheweth the cud among the beasts, that shall he eat.
We went, let me see. There we go. Whatsoever, let me see, part of the hoof and cheweth the cud, which mean is that, you know what I'm saying, like a cow. Cow got, you know what I'm saying, multiple stomachs. So cow, you know what I'm saying, mainly cow eat, like, you know what I'm saying, grass, so on and so forth. But what they do is regurgitate, you know what I'm saying, regurgitate the grass, eat it again, you know what I'm saying, and break down the grass even further and go into all these chambers, different, you know what I'm saying, different departments in their stomach. So it could be broken down. So you know what I'm saying, so the animal could take the nutrition out that food. So go ahead. Yes, it is. It is clean meat. Yes, it is. Read on.
Block, if I may, sir, can I just break down the third?
Oh, yeah. Yes, you can, Bruce.
All right, come on. Which what I was so heavy, right? Whatsoever part of the hoof, you know what I'm saying? Black, Hispanic, and Native American Indians, you got to understand that in order to eat meat that's of the earth, that animal has to have 3 characteristics that the third verse is talking about. They have the part of the hoof, which is the hard part of the foot of the animal, and it's cloven footed. Cloven footed is talking about the split toe. Just imagine like a ninja move. You ever saw a ninja movie, and the ninja has their boot. The big toe is separated from the other 4 toes. That's cloven footed of an animal. And as Officer Paracha explained, chew up the cud, as he mentioned, an animal that regurgitates the food. They eat grass, regurgitate, throw it up, and eats it again. If a monkey doesn't do this. A monkey doesn't have this.
Right.
Right?
They don't even have hoofs.
Right. A hippopotamus, a lion, a tiger. You understand? But a lamb does. A cow does. Guess what? Even a giraffe does. And a goat does. So if any meat that you eat doesn't qualify of these characteristics that the Bible explains clean meat, then it's unlawful to you. Shalom.
Oh, no.
Giraffe is considered clean meat. It's in the Bible, if I'm not mistaken. I'll look that up.
Right. So now,
you want to go to verse 4?
yes, go verse 4.
Okay. Nevertheless, these shall ye not eat of them that chew the cud, or of them that divide the hoof, as the camel. Because he cheweth the cud, but divided not the hoof.
But divided not the go on.
He is unclean unto you.
He is what?
Unclean unto you.
So these animals do not have these characteristics that you that you read away in verse 3, if they don't have this character resistant, which means that now these animals right here is unclean to you. It's not talking to an Egyptian. It's not talking to a Moabite or Ammonite. It's talking to the children of Israel. It's talking to a so-called Mexican. You know what I mean? It's talking to, you know what I'm saying, so-called Puerto Rican, a so-called Dominican, a so-called, you know what I'm saying, a so-called Jamaican, a so-called Antiguan. This is what it's talking to. We have a dietary law. We have a dietary law because we are God's chosen people. So anything outside God's, you know what I'm saying, God's dietary law, it's unclean to us. Listen to that. Don't that sound like a holy nation of people, how they would talk? That is unclean to me. I cannot touch that. You know what I'm saying? The way that you know what I mean? The way that you carry yourself is so unclean. You're doing unclean behavior. You know what I'm saying? LGBTQ community, unclean. They don't have no, you know what I'm saying? They don't have no like no honor or no morality to say, oh, that act, it's unclean in our community. They don't, that it's unclean. You know what's unclean in the LGBT community? If somebody speaks something right and tell them not to do that, do those things, that is unclean to them. If you telling them what to do and what to do is right, that is unclean to them because they say, who is you to judge me? Even though you're telling them not to do the acts that you're doing. It's unclean. You know what I mean? Even though, you know, in another few years, you're going to have, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have children. Who do you know what I'm saying? Children, you're going to be like 10-year-olds, going to be having relationships with 40-year-old men, 40-year-old women. That children got the right. Who is you to tell that 10-year-old they cannot love a 4-year-old man? That's an American system. That's the philosophy that, yeah, it's going there. Because you giving the children ability to cut off their rod. Children, priests,
right? Children.
They were just playing with, you know what I'm saying? They was just playing with, you know what I'm saying, He-Man dolls a couple years ago. That's what they was doing. Playing with G.I. Joes and the little green men, the little green army men. Remember back in the days? Now, you know what I'm saying? Now we following a deviant master. And the deviant master picked up a righteous nation of people constitution.
Right.
Read on.
But I'm gonna verse 5. It's like if I may. I made a statement saying that giraffe was eaten in the Bible. Salakia. That's not true, but however, it does share the same 3 characteristics to eat for clean meat.
So, yeah, it's clear. It's clean meat. It's clean meat.
Verse 5, in the coney, because he cheweth the cud, but the body, not the hook, he is unclean unto you.
Go on.
Verse 6, in the hand, because he cheweth the cud, but the body, not the hook, he is unclean unto you.
So do you know what the hair is? Especially in the South. You know what I'm saying? Rabbits. We're not allowed to eat rabbits. We need somebody to teach us this. We're not allowed to eat rabbits. Somebody told us that it's okay that you can eat rabbit. No, you're not allowed to eat rabbits. You are a holy nation of people. You know what I'm saying? You are God's chosen people. You are Israelites. And Israelites have a dietary law. That's what the Christians always say. Oh no, the dietary laws are done away with. Who authorized that? Huh? Who authorized that? Clearly, somebody who don't believe in God's laws.
Right.
Clearly, you know what I'm saying? People who don't believe that God's laws will make you powerful. Clearly, this is not a person who believes in the power of God's laws. That's the reason why he said that. That's the reason why he gave it. So you could be powerful and holy. You're not going to be like everybody else. No, you're going to be holy. These are unclean things to you. Yasha'Allah. Unclean things. This is how you're going to become powerful. You know?
But one come, verse 7. And that's why.
And the what?
Why?
Go on.
He divided the hoof.
Though he divided the hoof. Yeah, he got a little divide on that hoof. Read on.
And be cloven footed.
And be cloven footed. It looks similar. It looks similar to a clean animal. You know?
Yet he cheweth not the cud.
Yeah, say that again.
Yet he cheweth not the cud.
Oh no. Oh, he don't do. He just eats. He just eat any disgusting thing. He's a, you know what I mean? He's nature's, you know what I'm saying? Nature's natural. But yo, yeah. Hand your business.
The swine eat humans. The swine eat human flesh. You go into one of these foreign countries where they desert the dead, and there's wild pigs running around. Guess what? You're gonna find a pig consuming human flesh. The pig eats its own babies. The pig eats feces. The pig eats rats. You understand? The pig is basically like a garbage truck. It consumes the waste that's on the earth. You understand? And you're running around going to the doctor, wondering why you have high blood pressure and gout and all type of diseases, man. Listen to God, man, and prolong your life.
That's right.
You understand that that he said that the Lord's that it's not the Lord's working good. I'm paraphrasing. Salam.
Oh no, it's all good. Oh, you finished?
No,
read the scripture. Yeah, read the scripture again.
Verse 7. Leviticus chapter 11, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why.
And the what?
That's why.
Say that again.
That's why.
Yeah. The pig.
That's
And
why.
And the bacon.
That's why.
Oh, wait. Mm-hmm. Ham hocks.
That's why.
The pork. The pork chops. The what?
That's why.
The hog. Huh? The hog mogs? The hog mogs. Oh man, Judah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna let you know the so-called, you know what I'm saying, the so-called Negroes here in America, they're gonna be mad at me. Oh man. I got one. Pork rinds. Oh, fat back. Oh, I'm bringing it back. Fat. Oh yeah, I got you. This is my mom's. Oh man, she know about pork, right? So you know, helping Mom Dukes out, so on and so forth. And she, you know what I mean, she up in her age. So she told me one day, she said, I want some fat back. So Mom, you can't get no fat back. I'm like, you know that is you know what I'm saying, it's against God for us to eat pork. So I'm not going to serve you something that God said for us not to eat.
Right.
Fat back is bad. You know, you believe in God, right, Mom? She was like, yeah. So God said we're not allowed to eat swine. Swine is pork, right? Yes. Fat back is pork, right? Yes. She's eating pork. So she stopped asking me. She's going to ask somebody else who's okay with it. You see how, you know what I mean? You see how we are in slavery? You see how destroyed our people are? You see how disgusting Christianity is? Christianity taught my mother that. That's what happened. She never even knew it. She never heard nothing like that. All that time that she grew up in church, and I'm gonna get your question. All that time she grew up in church, nobody in church said that because they was eating on fatback at church.
Right.
You know that's another part of another different part of the pork cracklings, the skin. It's a different part of the skin. Right?
Like I said, it was not question, it was just like chitlins.
Chitlins. Oh yeah, I said that earlier. Chitlins. Oh man, my mom used to cook it. Hate it. The smell. The people going crazy like, oh, I smell those chitlins. I'm going to stop by to get, you know what I'm saying? Give me you know what I'm saying? Give me some of those chitlins. A thing in my, you know what I'm saying, in my family or in my neighborhood. This is the thing. It's still going on to this day. It's still going on to this day. This is a thing, literally a thing. It's tradition. What you mean? The tradition is corrupt. You believe in God? How you going to bring chitlins to the church? To the church party, you know they're bringing chitlins, right?
That's right.
They're bringing chitlins. They're bringing swine because we suffer. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to get brainwashed. We need somebody to wash off that chitlin brain. Because remember, the organized lie. Centuries. You know what I mean? You have to do this day in and day out. The organized lie. Now it becomes chitlins is what? Status quo. Pork chops is what? Status quo. So read 7 again, Salakia.
Come. Verse 7. And the swine, though he divided the hook, he cloven for it, yet he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you.
This disgusting animal is unclean to us. So if we don't do that, we try to say we cannot be powerful because that's God's laws right there. If we obey that, that's already making us powerful. We are, you know what I'm saying? We're taking off the chains of what? White Jesus doctrine off the top. If we follow that, that's, you know what I mean? That sounds like, you know what I'm saying, one battle that we just won. Now we get even more powerful. Now, you know, so now we're understanding that swine is not food. You know what I'm saying? We look at swine as who eat dirt, who eat a piece of cardboard. We look at, you know what I'm saying? We look at swine as I'm going to eat this doorknob tomorrow and put a little bit of salt, or a little hot sauce on it, and I'm going to eat a doorknob. That's how we look at pig. That's how we're supposed to look at pig. Not even consider that. The same way that people look at rats and don't think about, you know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? You really think my mother think about, oh, there's a mouse in the house. Don't kill it because we can chef it up and that'll be delicious food. Or she's scared of the mouse. You really think my mom think, oh, mouse is food. Or she look at that mouse as that's something disgusting and what? Unclean. She don't even want to touch it. She sent me in there. My sister sent me in there. Did you see what I'm getting at? So we cannot look at pigs that way. Our Most High God said for us to look at pigs that way. Pig is not food. Pig is not food. Rat is not food. We don't. It's unclean to a holy nation of people.
Right.
You know?
Of their flesh shall he not eat.
Say that again.
Of their flesh shall he not eat.
Wait. Say that once again, please, Baba Kishore.
Of their flesh shall he not eat.
So this is done away with. So the Pope who picked up our Bible and taught us that you can eat pig now. Because the Greeks and the Romans was forcing Israelites to eat pig. That's a Greek and Roman philosophy. That was a Greek and Roman dietary laws. That wasn't the Israelites' laws. That wasn't God's chosen people's laws. So who did we learn it from? The Greek and the Romans said pig is good now. The other white meat. Swine, what? What you mean? You know what I'm saying? Zeus said I can eat pig. Hercules said I can eat pig. You know what I'm saying? These demigods taught me I can eat pig. Well, my God said I'm not allowed to eat no pig. That's what my God said. But you know what I'm saying? It said, of their flesh shall ye not eat, because it's not food. Read on.
And one cut, and their carcass shall ye not touch.
Look, he even went further. The Most High God even went further with it. Do you understand? Think about how further, and think about that part right there. He said, and their carcass, a dead pig. A goddamn dead pig. Now, you know what I'm saying? A dead pig. Their carcass we shall not touch. Who's the ye? Who's the ye? You talking? Oh, you're not? Are you sure you wasn't talking to the Moabites? What about the Egyptians? What about the mixed multitude? What about the people who's what about the strangers? Huh? You was talking about the strangers? You believe in the context that I'm talking about? The context, because you said la'ah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, you're right. No, you're right. Because that's, you know what I mean? You already know. Israel's not allowed to touch it. You know what I mean? If I say strangers, you know what I'm saying? If I say stranger, I'm literally talking about another nation. You see what I'm saying? Another nation. Because that was the context I'm talking, because I brought up Egyptians, you know what I'm saying, the Moabites, whatever. What about the strangers? You're not talking to the strangers. You know what I mean? Because Israel could also be a stranger. But you know what I'm saying? If I was born, you know what I'm saying? If I was born in the land, if I'm a let me see, if I'm a Benjamite, you know what I mean? If I was born in, you know what I'm saying, a land of Benjamin, and I end up moving to it's, you know what I'm saying, Israelite land. By me being a stranger, do that applies to me? Why does it apply to me? And it's, you know what I'm saying, because Issachar is an Israelite, right? But and I'm over in Issachar land, and I'm a stranger. I don't know all the Issachar, Issachar, you know what I'm saying, the tribe of Issachar. I don't know everybody over there, but I'm a stranger. So would that law still applies to me? Because what? I'm an Israelite, even though I'm a stranger in Issacharite land. That's how we have to read the Bible. That's how the Bible is read. Everybody, you know what I'm saying, the Christians think that the entire Israelites knew each other. You believe this? The entire Israelites, all the tribe knew each other. We all grew up in the same projects. All the 12 tribes of Israel, everybody. You know what I'm saying? Men, women, and children. Old men, old women. Grandfather and grandmother. Aunts and uncle. All 12 tribes live in the projects, and we knew each other. This is how the Christian mind thinks. So Israel cannot be a stranger. How is this possible? This is in a distorted mind. But you got to realize it's an organized lie. Read on. So the caucus, you know what I'm saying? We should not touch.
They are unclean. They are unclean to you.
They are unclean to you, Israelites. It's unclean. Remember, we are a holy nation of people. You know what I'm saying? We are God's chosen people. We're not going to follow behind all these other nations. We're not going to do, no, we got protocols. You know what I mean? You serve the living God. That's who you serve. You know what I'm saying? The Mexicans serve the living God. The Dominicans serve the living God. And you know what that living God said? You cannot eat pork. Not only you cannot eat pork, you can't even touch the carcass of a pig. It's unclean to you. Because you're a holy nation of people. Now, if you follow, you know what I'm saying? If you follow my laws, if we follow God's laws, we become powerful. That's what happens. We become powerful. You can drop that, priest. You can drop that. Matter of fact, so let me see here. Oh, go back to Romans. Go to so go back to Romans chapter 15, verse 4.
Come on, come. Romans chapter 15, verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
So what was our learning in the law? Because we had to go to that foretime priest,
Right.
and we had to read about, because our brother in Rome, guess what Paul had to do? He had to go to that foretime.
Right.
And he had to have he had to teach law class.
Right.
He had to teach law class. And he went to Leviticus chapter 11 and verse 1 down to what? Down to 7? And he read down there. He said, brothers and sisters, we are scattered, but we are still God's chosen people, and we still have requirements that we, you know what I'm saying, for us being God's chosen people. I know we're amongst these Romans. I know we're amongst these people. These, you know what I mean, these people who do not follow, you know what I'm saying, our God's laws. And they serving pig and swine and all these unclean beasts. That's, you know, and I know that we grew up eating these unclean beasts, but that's the reason why I'm here. To bring you back into the fold, so you don't act like these other nation of people, because we are a holy nation of people. So now, if you did not know, you have to stop eating pork.
Right.
Swine is not food. Bison is food. Lamb is food. That's food. Sheep is food. That's food to us.
Right.
This unclean animal, it's not food. It's not food to us, God's chosen people. It's not food to Israelites. That was scattered, so now I'm bringing y'all back into the fold. Now by this, you know what I'm saying, now by this information that I'm teaching you, that I'm teaching my brothers and sisters, we have to, you know what I mean? Obeying God's laws will give us power so we don't be scattered anymore. And by this act, you know what I mean? By this act, it's not going to be overnight, but by this one act, the empowerment starts. Don't we want that, Israelites? This is the first step to power. The first step. Even in Israelites' history, you know what I'm saying? A mother and her sons was unalive because they refused to eat pork. Refuse it. That's Israel. You know what I'm saying? That's Israelites' history. That's Israelites' history. We refuse to eat pork. We refuse to eat this unclean thing. Unclean thing. And we, you know what I'm saying? And we willing to put our life on the line about that.
Culture.
That's our culture, yes. Because our culture is what? The law of God. That's the culture. That's the culture. Our culture is what? The law of God. That's the culture. You know what I'm saying? Leviticus. That's our culture, the law of God. That's our power, the laws of God. Countless time all through the, all, you know what I mean? All through the Bible, that's what it's talking about. We break the law, we get punished. When we don't break the law, we get rewarded. That's what happens. That's what the Most High God says. Whatsoever things was written aforetime was written for our learning, that we, through patience and comfort of the scriptures, through patience, because now we have to be retaught. You know what I'm saying? Be retaught of the scriptures. So we have to be patient. Not only with the scriptures, we have to be patient with ourselves. Because we in the belly of the goddamn beast.
Right.
This is what's going on. We in the belly of the beast. We didn't grow, you know what I mean? We didn't grow up in the law like Paul did. So now we, you know what I mean? So now Paul is being patient. And in that patience and comfort of, you know, the comfort of the scriptures, you know what that comfort is? Yo, I thought I was a Mexican.
Right.
I didn't even know that I was, you know what I'm saying? I'm God's chosen people. I'm the people of the book. I'm an Israelite. I thought I was a disgusting Mexican. I thought I was a heathen. I thought that wasn't my book. I thought I was, you know what I mean? I thought the people that gave me Catholicism or being a Catholic that taught me the book, I thought they was the people of the book. And my people was over there swinging on trees. Over here swinging on trees and being a savage. I did not know I'm part of the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right.
I did not know that pig wasn't food. I didn't know that. Oh, now patience and comfort. You see how that comfort now, comfortability in the scriptures. Now, you know what I'm saying? Now we're being like Neo in the Matrix. We see the zeros and ones and we see the Matrix. Now we understand when we hear a bunch of hogwash that somebody's speaking out their goddamn mouth about the Bible. We know that they, no. Where did you get that from? That's the first question we would ask. Who taught you that? Where you get that from? Same way I did not know not eating pork. I thought that was only the 5% in Islam. Everybody thought that, right, priest?
Right.
Everybody thought that. Well, you knew better than me. You know what I mean? You knew better than me. You know what I'm saying? You knew this truth longer than me. I'm talking about like in the past, in the 90s. I didn't know nothing about that. I just knew the 5%ers. I knew about the Israelites, but I you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, this is just another Christianity. I didn't know Christianity is supposed to teach you not to eat pork. And that's what God says. And I didn't know that's what the Muslim got that from the Israelites. That's what they learned it from. But Islam have a safety switch on there. Oh yeah, if you know what I'm saying, if it's the only thing for you to eat to sustain your life, eat the pork. This is Islam right here. So they don't really how can I say it? They still look at pork as food. Even though the Elijah Muhammad talking about, oh, yo, you ain't supposed to eat pork. No, if you, come on. It says it right there in your Quran. If it's nothing there and you have to sustain your life, you will eat that pork with the worm in it. You won't fast, and you know what I'm saying? You won't fast, and you know what I mean? And you know what I'm saying? And suffer like the Lord. Do you really love your God? Do you really love your God? So when you come into this, prepare yourself for temptation.
Right.
That's what the Lord. That's why the Lord is there. That's how I feel safe right there. If we get jammed up, let's think about the Lord. Let's think about his laws. That we, through the patience and comfort of the scripture, might have hope. That's our hope. To get there, you know what I'm saying? To get the comfort, you know what I'm saying? To get the breakdowns of the scripture. To come back into the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? Drop that. Go to Mark chapter 3, verse 27.
Huh.
We have the written, you know what I'm saying? It was written the 4 times, it was written for our learning. We got to read these 4 times laws. Oh, before you read Mark chapter 3, verse 27, let's go to, I just had it. Matter of fact, go to Genesis chapter 9, verse 1. Matter of fact, let's go to, should I read that one? Matter of fact, no, I don't want that. Go back to Matthew. I don't want that. Yeah, I mean, not Matthew. Mark, Mark chapter 3, verse 27.
Huh. Mark chapter 3, verse 27.
Mm-hmm.
No man can enter into a strong man's house.
Say that again.
No man can enter into a strong man's house.
No man can enter into a strong man's house. How a strong man in a person's house, in a man's house, how can he be strong? Because it said, no man can enter into a strong man's house. So how can you enter into a strong man's house? What that man got to do to be strong? Darren, what do that man got to do to be strong? Yeah, and not only that, that's what he's doing, but what do he have to do to be strong? He had to train himself up. He had to always do it. The more you do it, the more stronger you get, right? You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I mean? Not, we gotta be saturated in that strength. The strength is the Most High God. You know what I'm saying? That strength is also Yahweh will be an example. How to be strong. How to be strong. And guess what? For us to be strong, what we got to do? We have to go about training. We have to have some good training. You know what I mean? We have to have good trainers. Right? That's what we have to have, good trainers, so we can be strong in our house. Because ain't nobody gonna run up, ain't nobody gonna run up in a Delta Force member's house and knowing he's part of Delta Force. Huh? When the last time you heard of, you know what I'm saying, a Navy SEAL's house got robbed? This is how we have to be in our house. Well, guess what? Our house is on the plantation. Our house is surrounded by hoarder and whoremongers. Our house is surrounded by drugs and drug dealers. Our house is surrounded by pork. Our house is surrounded, you know what I'm saying, surrounded about with no shame. That's what, you know what I'm saying? That's what our house is. We surrounded in that. So it says, no man can enter into a strong man's house. No man, you know what I mean? If you're strong, nobody can enter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what a person say. In your house, pork is not food. In your house, there should not be no whores of the daughter of Israel. We're going to get that in a second. That's a strong man's house right there. Because the strong man going to teach his daughters and sons not to be a whore and not to be a sodomite. That's a strong man's house.
Right.
And that sons and daughter is trained up. It's trained up in the scriptures. So they look at, you know what I mean? They look at something, oh, that's unclean. That's an unclean act. How she's dressing, that's unclean. Why is she going to disrespect her father that? I know my father, you know what I'm saying? I'm in my father's house. So I'm going to make sure that I'm dressed appropriate. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure I dress appropriate.
Right.
Because, oh, you know, I'll give you a prime example. And you know what I mean? And a lot of people get caught up. The daughter, you know what I mean? The father's at work. The father's at work. Daughter just came, you know what I mean? Just got out of school. She jumped in the shower. She jumped in the shower, you know what I mean? Cleaning, you know what I mean? She washing up in the shower, right? It's 2:00 in the afternoon. Her pops don't come home until like 7 from work. Oh yeah, she got out the shower, you know what I'm saying? She dry herself off. You know what I mean? Dry herself off, got the towel. Got a towel on. She's the only one in the house by herself. She's the only one in the house by herself. You know what I'm saying? What do you think that she's gonna do? She's gonna put the towel on and walk through the house to get to her room, to get dressed. Am I right? Because pops don't come home until 7. You know what I mean? I'm in the house by myself or whatever, you know, I'm wash myself up there. I'm just gonna go to my room. I'm just gonna go to my room and get dressed. We can't think that way anymore. We can, you know what I mean? We being understanding and we got trained up. So we be considerate. You see what I'm saying, Priest? We be considerate. I'm not going to walk out with just, you know what I'm saying, with just a towel on and just go to my room and get dressed, because there's a possibility that my pops could come home early. And what happened if he come home early? She's in the shower. She don't know her pops is home. Let's say pops, you know what I mean? Let's say pops is in the room, in the kitchen. Let's say pops is in the kitchen right now, you know what I mean? Looking, you know what I'm saying? Looking at his cell phone, drinking some water. She don't know her pops is there. She step out. He walked out the kitchen. Boom. He looking at her nakedness. A good daughter will get dressed in the bathroom. She will put on, you know what I mean, a casual gown. You know what I mean? Something that you can walk around the house with. Because she's mindful about, I don't want nobody to see my nakedness. She's mindful that anybody, you know, anything can happen. She's considerate. This is in real time, priest. You do it all the time. Oh, yo, let me run over here real quick. My room is right there. Let me run over here. Boom, your mother walk. Yo, what the hell's going on? Oh, I thought I was in the house by myself. My mistake. My bad. No, it is your bad. You're even supposed to walk around naked anyway. That's the consideration that we're supposed to have. Get dressed in the bathroom. Get your clothes. Get your sweatpants. Throw your sweatpants on after when you get out to shower. Throw your sweatpants on, or get dressed in it, or get dressed after when you take a shower. This is where we have to think. This is that strong man's house. This is where it won't be no accidents in that strong man's house, because why? Everybody's thinking about each other. Everybody's on one accord. Everybody's what? Following God's laws. Read on.
Except he will first bind a strong man.
So it said, No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods. So we say spoil, which means to destroy. Destroy his daughter. Destroy his son. How is this possible? His sons and daughters are not going to be destroyed because they, you know what I mean? They are a strong man raised them up. A strong man taught them about shame. A strong man taught, you know what I mean? Told them about considerate and honorable. The strong man taught him, told us about that. We are God's chosen people. We are a holy nation of people. This is how we conduct ourselves. This is how God's people conduct themselves. We have class. You know what I'm saying? We have class. This is who we are. This is who we are. So you know what I mean? So the strong man's and spoil his goods. So the goods is not going to get spoiled. It's not going to be destroyed. Read on.
I want God.
Except
he first bind the strong man.
Say that again.
Except he first bind the strong man.
So now we gotta bind up this strong man. Now we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Now we gotta lie to this strong man. Now we gotta do any type of cunning to this strong man. Now we gotta feed him pork. Now you know what I'm saying? Now we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Now we gotta say to this strong man, God loves everybody.
We gotta get the Black, Hispanic, and Native man out the house.
We got we gotta get him out the house. He's too black and strong. You know what I'm saying? He too Israelite.
Right.
He too much of God's chosen people. Whatever that means. He too much, you know what I mean? He too much follows the laws of God. Go ahead.
That's exactly what Ruff
did. Mm-hmm. I remember. No, not back in the day, still to this day.
They still.
To this day, it's so overwhelming that Cordain, remember Cordain? It's still going on today. This is in real talk. It's still going on today. Section 8 coming to the house. You can't, you know what I mean? This lady, you know what I mean? She have a man. But you know what I mean? He cannot see no man living there. You don't want to mess up on Section 8. This is real. This is in real time. And it's not, you know what I mean? And there's other stuff too. Let's say a cousin. Let's say a cousin, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Live with the person who's on Section 8. The cousin cannot be there also. But they never did that to those broke ass farmer white people. They never did that. They kept the family together because they knew that, you know what I'm saying? They knew that, you know, they knew how, you know what I mean? They knew to have empathy for their own kind. Not one white woman, you know what I'm saying? They never said this to white women. And white women with the May benefit off of civil rights. White women. You try to say all these white people who's on Section 8, you try to say there's no men in the household. Section 8, no, that's a man in the household. Go ahead.
Nobody broke up the Jewish man's house.
Oh no, they tell you flat out, we don't work. And we on Section 8.
Right.
So what do you do? Oh, we just learn the Torah. So what's going on? Oh no, we collect benefits. White people, curly fries on the side. The creme of the creme white people, Slocky, please. The little creme of the creme. Give me what's the time check?
Check is 8:58.
Oh, all right. Yeah. So we're gonna most likely I want to do a part 2 because this is good. So it says, no man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he will first bind the strong man. You know what I'm saying? First lie and beat up this strong man. Read on.
One cup. Except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house.
Now his daughter is walking around the house naked. Now his son is walking around with his shirt off. Now the mother is walking around with pom-pom shorts on in front of her son and daughter. That's the spoil. They spoil you now.
Right.
They don't have no shame now. Nobody's saying, yo, let me get dressed in the bathroom. Let me make sure that my mother don't see my chest. Let me not walk around the house, you know what I'm saying, half naked. The goods are spoiled now. And you know how the goods is being spoiled? Because somebody say God's laws do not make you powerful. God's laws is powerful. Even if you string up that strong man, guess who's also strong in that house? The children. The children are strong now. You know what I mean? The children. The children remember what? Remember what the strong man taught.
Right.
That's, you know what I mean? That's what the part that ISUPK we're going to get to. Doesn't matter. We gone. But our children knows better. That's how they did slavery with us. Like us right here, we're the strong ones. We're the strong ones. And we say we don't, you know what I'm saying? We don't believe in white Jesus. So our slave master unalive us. But our children don't know better. And the slave master taught our children what? White Jesus. And we ain't have time enough to teach our children how to be strong. That's how we have to get it to.
That's right.
Doesn't matter, they tie us up. My daughters still know that there's no whores of the daughter of Israel. There's no sodomites. Sodomites of the sons of Israel. Because they, you know what I mean? Because they remember. What was written aforetime was written for our learning. And in Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17, there should not be no whores of the daughter of Israel.
Right.
Nor sodomites of the sons of Israel. This is what they know. This is what our children know. So once we know this will become powerful. You know what I'm saying? Israelites, obey God's laws. And what did it say? We become, what is it?
Israelites, obey God's law and become powerful.
And become powerful. Imagine if Cardi B, Sexy Red, obeyed Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 17. Completely different type of people. Completely different. It got to the point that you had the time when Sexy Red was getting interviewed, and she brought up that, you know what I mean, something happened to her in the past. She got abused in the past. The interviewers laughed. When did she get over that trauma? She wasn't born in a strong man's house. She wasn't born in that strong man's house. Now we don't have no consideration. You know what I'm saying? White Jesus teaches us individuality. Christian church taught us individuality. Christian church taught us that that God's laws do not make us powerful. Because his laws is done away with. And only laws that stand by is white Jesus laws. Those laws. But we're gonna get back to this. We're gonna get back to, right now we have to do some school business, but we're gonna do a part 2 to this. I'm definitely gonna do a part 2. And then you can Priest, you like I said, you can always chime in. You know what I mean? All the time. The water, I truly appreciate it. So I'm going to say, you know what I'm saying? Shalom, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar Atham Bashir to the sisters. I'm Priest and Officer Paratazar from ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started off at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander Junior HARLEM. And since 1969, we've been teaching the so-called blacks, the so-called Native American Indians, the so-called, the so-called Hispanics, that God's law, obey God's laws and become powerful. 1969. That's what we teach our people. That's God's laws. That's our culture. We are a holy nation of people. And we're going to get there. We're going to get there. Slowly but surely, we're going to get there, Prince. We will get there. Because what was written before time was written for our learning. And that's what we teach in ISUPK. And with that, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer 1000 Sha'al.
Clap.